Disclaimer, due to the nature of the character that I talk about, I sound very monotonous and sad and dark and serious during this video. Please don't be turned off by that. It's Light Yagami. What can you expect? Thanks. I've never seen or read a series that has delved into the depths of the human heart, that has explored the human soul in the same way that Death Note has. I'm talking strictly animation or comic book or manga, if you will. It is a manga. Whether it's Western or Japanese anime, I've never seen or read a series that has really explored the human heart the same way Death Note has, or arguably as well as Death Note has. We've had series where the main character is this hero. There's never a doubt that they're the hero. They have this goal to change the world, save the world, and they go about it in the way that's just so heroic. You know, feel good, adventure, all of that. Death Note throws that all out of the window, and we have this character, Light Yagami. He is the main character, he is the one that is focused on, and he's the first one that you doubt. You know, at the very start of the series, we already see that he has this notion, he has this mindset. He understands that the world around him is rotten. He understands that there are many people who are scum, who are evil at their core. He understands the depravity of mankind. He even contemplates on using the Death Note to end the life of not necessarily a criminal, but even this punk bully taking money away from some other kid in his class. It's somewhat true, if not, it's very true. You can be corrupted by your own heart very easily. And Light Yagami understands this. I mean, there's no way that he couldn't. His father was in the police force, so he would know some things. But on top of that, he's a genius. He's the straight A student. You know, he claims that, right? He knows that he's a genius, or there's no way he could have missed any of it. He understands there is evil in the world. The world's rotten. I really want to look at the character of Light Yagami and explore who he is. Who makes Light Yagami Light Yagami? What makes Light Yagami Light Yagami? Is he a hero or a villain? And that's what I want to talk about. I think, personally, to start off, here's my point. The side that I'm leaning towards. Villain. And not so much the villain that we feel sympathetic towards, but this radical transition from being that straight A student to being this megalomaniac, this villain, this evil entity that bears the name Kira. He's proud of being a killer. He wants to be the god of the new world. And that is scary. It's scary because he has the tool to do it. He has the ability to do that, to go off and massacre people. But my question is he as guilty as those that he is eliminating, as those that he is executing? I think that he is as guilty as those criminals, as those murderers, as those that he is trying to clean this world of, rid this world of. He is as guilty as they are. And I am one who believes that Light Yagami was not corrupted. He was not, the Death Note did not really change his worldview at all. He had the same consistent worldview from the very beginning. He understood that this world was rotten. He held to that throughout the entirety of the series. He understood where his mind was. He knows what his goal was. It never changed. He held to his convictions. The difference is that the Death Note was finally the way that can be executed. Every idea in his head, oh man, these criminals need to be killed off. And he finally has the way. He finally finds this tool, this key that unlocks that hatred that's festering within him. Even people who are just going about their everyday lives, he sees them as rotten. He knows that they're rotten, that in their soul they have dark thoughts, they have evil intentions in some capacity. So he says, I'll just sort of kill them off with sickness, they'll die off. And what's interesting is that in all of that, he doesn't want to admit the truth that he himself is just as guilty. Then Ryuk tells him, if you continue to do this, then you'll be the only evil person left. And Light, what are you talking about? I'm a straight A student. I wanted to look at Light Yagami. I wanted to see, where we see where his mindset is, where it begins. In the beginning of the series, there isn't really necessarily a progression, only this deterioration of morale. We see that Light understands that he's seen as the straight A student who's a genius. And so he puts on this mask, and it sort of works for a while, but then as things start progressing and he gets deeper and deeper and deeper into this, he soon begins to sort of let go of that persona of the genius straight A student, and he slowly becomes this manipulative, evil person. I can't think of any synonyms that would describe Light Yagami. He's just simply evil. And so he slips here and there, but no one really notices except for L. L's the only person who really catches on, and L knows that Light is Kira to the very end, and there at the end, even though L admits that he is a friend. Light is a friend. Light is his friend, and Light knows this. And even at the end, we see Light is evil. It's not a coincidence that the writer Sugumi Oba had the intention. It's not a coincidence that he named the character Light. Light's name is purposeful. Light, a false light, right? A light that isn't a light at all. His name in itself is fake. Now, of course, he's a normal human being. He was named Light by his parents, so there wasn't really an intention there. I'm not throwing out a theory that the Yagami family conspiracy, they're all in on it, whatever. No, I'm just saying that it's very clever. It's a clever name to give a character that we end up hating. Light Yagami is this kid, this high school student. At first, we're like, okay, it's an anime. It's a series that shows, it's just, this kid he's gonna use that. He's a good guy. He's gonna be killing the bad guy. He's gonna be killing the criminals. He's gonna be changing the world. But little did we know that Light Yagami would soon become this evil monster, this beast. Kira, he's a killer, nothing more. And although I personally did not like the second part of Death Note as much as the first, it really had the perfect ending. It really did come down to the truth in that Light Yagami is nothing more but that killer. He's left with nothing. He's alone in the end. It came down to him being alone. He tried to call out to those who he manipulated. He tried to call out to those who he believed would be by his side. Those that he tricked into thinking that he actually cared for them. Even on his father's deathbed. No remorse. This sick monster. Instead of mourning over his father's death, he boils in anger because his father didn't finish the job that he assigned to him. He didn't get his way. It's saddening, really. Light Yagami, I think, is not a hero. He's not. He's the main character of the series, but he is definitely not the protagonist. He's a sad case. He is this kid that we witnessed get corrupted, not by an outside source, but by his own heart. It's what's within that defiles a man. We really see that in Light Yagami. It's really interesting. At first glance, people may be like, "Oh, it's a kid's show. It's a cartoon. It's anime, whatever." But it's a literary masterpiece. It explores the human heart in no way any other cartoon ever did. And so that's why I appreciate Death Note. It's really interesting because there are moments where you do root for Light. In a way, Light Yagami, he played us all. The audience, the fans. He had us like him at times. He had us feel sorry for him. Especially when he lost his memory. Remember that? I felt sad. But, yeah. I hate him. And I think that was the goal. Nothing has explored the human heart like that. We've always had the main character that we root for. But this main character is someone that we just end up hating. And it's beautiful. Yeah, so Light Yagami is a villain.
Hey, if you enjoyed me rambling about a fictional character and their depths of hearts and, well, there's more where that came from, so subscribe if you want to find out when there's more of that in the future. Yeah, so just subscribe. Ooh, yeah. Uh-huh.